Well, we are in the middle of one heck of a period of time here, folks. A lot of us have been having some really hard times. I've been having some really hard times. The over the last few weeks, I've been sick twice, which is one of the main reasons that the Two Cent Show has not been popping up. I was sick twice. That and the quarantine business. I'll tell you, it's interesting. Even if you really think that you have a good solid psychology on your head, and you know that I'm not going to go crazy for a few weeks of not being able to go out and do anything that you want to do. I mean, yeah, I can take a walk around the block if I want to, but I can't go out and get a burger and a beer anymore. I can't go out and I can't go and watch sports anywhere. I can't go to the library. I can't go to the gym. There's no place that I can really go right now. And after a while, I don't care how sane you think you are, that'll start to drive you a little bit nuts. I've had periods of depression in the past month. Occasionally they'd get pretty bad, and I feel like there's just a lot to talk about right now. So while this isn't a Two Cent Show, I do want to spend some time talking with you about what's going on right now in the world. What's the best way I think we can handle it? I'll probably throw in some ideas that I have about why it's going on and what we should probably do, as a nation to get back on. But that's another thing is right now, it doesn't matter. The last Two Cent Show we did, we said we didn't want to make a series of Two Cent shows out of nothing but the coronavirus. We made one show to say, yeah, we're going to talk about this, and here's what it is, and be safe, and all this good stuff. And now we're not going to do it anymore. Well, it was after that the virus really started taking off, and the government started shutting everything down and doing all that, which is why you're sitting at home right now watching me on the screen, is probably because you can't get out and do anything else. So that's one of the reasons that there hasn't been Two Cent Shows is because since that time that we made that show, even then, the news was pretty much nothing but coronavirus stuff. Well, it's gotten far worse since then. Now, there's really nothing that I can dig around and find a couple little stories now and then that don't have anything to do with coronavirus, but not very many. There's some funny stuff going on out there, but it always has to do with something with a coronavirus here or there, whatever. And, and I know you know what I'm saying here is when you have, a bad time, say a crisis in life, the way that a lot of the world is having right now, that's one thing. That's depressing enough by itself. But then, when you have to hear about it all the time, every day, everything that's coming out of everybody's mouth is, by the way, wonderful weather today, and coronavirus. It's just all right there. It's always in your face. It gets really bad hearing that all the time, and I know that it's made me feel pretty bad. I know I've gotten depressed over it. Maybe you have too. If you have, I'm sorry. I hope you're going to feel better soon. I hope we're all going to feel better soon. But either way, that is the main reason that right now you haven't seen a Two Cent Show in a while, is because mainly, first of all, I've been sick. I think the first time I caught the flu, like not the big bad flu, but just a normal flu. The second time, it wasn't as bad. I'm not sure what it was. It was some kind of stomach thing, and I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't drink anything. It just, everything that went into me would come out in a few seconds. Even just water. Nope. It just, bleh, there we go. So, yeah, it's it's really hard to put together and do a show while that's going on in your life and in your face and on your carpet and wherever else is going on. So that was a little tough. Other times it was honestly depression. And I blame big time the whole locking down everything in the world. I find it really interesting on the news right now about how there are now protesters that are going out. I know a lot of people don't like this. They're really, in fact, they more than don't like it. They're calling these people horrible names. They're calling them, Nazis and racists, and I don't know how. Just wanting your job back makes you a racist, but according to the far left, it does. According to the left news media, yeah, if you want your job back because you're starving and you want to feed your children, you're a Nazi because of that. Somehow that makes you hate other races. I don't know how that works, but that's what they're saying right now. And the fact is, I looked at it the other day. I think today we hit 40,000 deaths in the United States because of coronavirus. I'm not going to say for a minute that it's not going to be more, because I believe it is. However, what we have to remember is that last year there were 64,000 deaths from the normal flu. And right now we have less death than the normal flu. But at the same time, because the government, some state governments are saying, nope, shut everything down, shut your business down, you can't go to work. Not only do we have those 40,000 dead, but now we have millions of people who are hungry, millions of people who are losing their jobs, millions of businesses that are they're going to shut down, and they're not going to open again. I mean, I hope you guys know that. If you had a favorite restaurant out there that was like a hometown kind of restaurant, be ready, because when this is all over, it may not reopen again. You may never get to go there again because of all this. And so you have protesters out there. And I believe that in a certain way, they're correct in what they're protesting, because basically what some of the governments are doing they are violating Americans' constitutional rights. They're saying, no, you can't work, you can't go outside, you can't gather. Now, you know me, I'm not a religious person. I'm just not. I think the smartest thing to do for people who go to church right now would be to stay home. That would be the smartest thing. In fact, if you go and you gather in a church with another several hundred people, then probably means you're dumb. I mean, that's probably, I don't know why Jesus isn't hitting you in the head and going, gonk, you're dumb, because that's pretty dumb. At the same time, though, I appreciate our Constitution. I appreciate America, and as stupid as it might make them to go out and do it, they do have the right to gather in church if they want to. So I can understand why they're protesting about it, and I can understand why people want these lockdowns to be lifted, because there are far more people who are suffering from the solution to this problem than they're suffering from the problem. And at that point, you have to go, okay, wait a minute. How could we redo this? Now, don't know if you knew about this, but Sweden did this right. I think it was Sweden. It was either Sweden or Switzerland. I'm pretty sure it was Sweden, though. Sweden didn't do like, see, what America did was, everybody, you're shut down. Doesn't matter. Oh, the virus far exceedingly kills like older people, people who have health problems, people who have diabetes, people who have had heart problems, lung problems, people who are overweight. It kills, and people who are like, 60 years or older. That's the people who die. But it doesn't matter if you're 16 and you've never in your life had any kind of health problems. You have to stay home too. Well, Sweden didn't do that. Sweden said, okay, we're not going to close down anything. We're going to keep everything open. All our businesses are open. All your jobs are still there. But if you are a person that is more susceptible to this virus, you're 60 years older or plus, or you have these conditions, then you stay home. There's no reason for us to tell everybody to stay home when they're probably not going to be affected by this at all. You stay home. You keep yourself safe. And we won't wreck the entire country for everybody else. Now, here's the thing. don't expect me to say that Sweden's death numbers and infection numbers were less. They weren't. In fact, they kind of reached about where every other country did in Europe. But that pretty much means that they're right on case with how many deaths they've had. But now they don't have millions of people who are starving and don't have jobs because they didn't shut everything down. I would like to see this go away soon, the whole lockdown. And the reason why is because you guys know me. You guys know that I don't often just bullshit for no reason. And here's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. That can happen. But what I think this is I think this is a virus that eventually everyone's going to get. Unless, of course, they come up with a virus first, which you never know. The viruses or vaccines. Vaccines usually take years to create and test and get out. So I simply think that this is a virus that pretty much everybody's going to have it sooner or later. And it's going to do its way. You know, people don't like it. I don't like it. When there's a period of time in the world when nature is going to go through and it's just going to wipe a bunch of us out. That's happened before. That's happened plenty of times before. Hasn't happened in a long time. It's been about, 100 years since Spanish flu went around? So, it's been a while. But it seems like, to me, that this could be another one of those points where a virus, some kind of disaster is going to go through. It's going to take out a bunch of people. We're not going to like it. But that just may be what's going to happen. We all may get this virus. And most of us, according to the doctors and scientists, the vast majority of us will be just fine. Great, the wide majority of us will just be either asymptomatic or we'll get something like a cold and get over it. That'll be it for most of us. And then we'll have antibodies of our own, and that'll help. But other people are going to die that wouldn't normally have died during this. Now, I think that it's tragic. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not tragic. Obviously it is. But what I think that people need to think about, and you would do this in almost any situation, except for some reason right now. I don't know why right now. Maybe it's because of all the politics going on, because there's a ton of it going on right now. But if there was, people do this, they do this all the time, by the way. If a house catches on fire, well, maybe there's a cat left inside, or even a child. Somebody, an old lady, grandma's left inside the house. Well, somebody's going to try and run back in there and get her. And the first thing that happens is the police, the fire department, whoever it is, they will stop you from going back in the house because they know that since the majority of you are saved, and since more of you could die if you go back in, it's more worth it if you stay outside and don't let them go back in. Now, that's a decision that I think everybody would make and could make. There's 1,000 people in a room. Now, either 5 of them could die, or 2 of them will die, and we have to do something else to make the other 1,000 people in the room miserable for years and years, 25 years on end. Well, it's the big mysterious question, and we like to ask this question of ourselves sometimes. It's a little fun game we play. It's like, okay, dude, you got 100 people, all right? And let's see, you're gonna save 100 people because a train's gonna wreck through, but to get the train to go to a different track and not wreck through the room that's got 100 people, you gotta push one person on the track and then the train will go a different way. So what do? Do you let 100 people die and you're okay, or do you actually push the one person on the track? Well, come on, what do you do? We always play games like that. But the thing is, right now, it's not a game. We're really in the middle of that. That's actually what's going on at this point in time. And there's a lot of decisions that are going to have to be made, not by me, thank God, by a lot of people in the government, about what's going to happen in the future. And at this point, it looks like they're going to try to decide whether or not we should just allow this virus to go its course, let people go back to work and let the survivors survive, or keep everybody in their house and make sure that, what was it? It was an economist that worked for what's the name of that Economist news publication, the Wall Street Journal. Yeah, a guy who worked for the Wall Street Journal actually said that if it keeps like it's going, then by the time we get to the end of all these lockdowns and quarantines, they're saying that over half of America could be living in poverty. Which is really odd, because just a few months ago, the economy was doing really good. Everybody had great jobs. And now suddenly, the spike in jobless claims, I think we're close to 15 million people with no job. They've just lost it in like the last few weeks. Now that's scary. That's scary to me. I know it's probably scary to some of you out there. One of the reasons I've been having depression is because this is affecting everybody, including me, including you probably. And so I don't have any problem with the protesters. In the first place, it's our right to be able to protest if we want to. And in the second case, I can see why they're doing it. And honestly, if you look at it, and you see these people, and they're in their cars, and they're saying, this is America. You can't tell us to just stay home. You can't tell us that we can't go outside. You can't arrest us, which they are doing now. They're arresting people for just being outside. And not in any kind of conglomeration or anything. They've arrested people who were completely on their own, just walking down the street by themselves with nobody else around. They'll arrest them and take them to jail. They took a guy to jail. He went out on a little tiny boat in the ocean. In California, he's in the ocean, right? He's by himself. There's nobody else. There's nobody can be around, Coast Guard pulls up and arrests this guy and takes him to jail for being outside on his own. So if you can look at that, people with no jobs, people they can't eat, people waiting for hours, for all day in line at food banks, because they don't have money to pay for groceries anymore. People who want their businesses back, people who want their jobs back, people who just want to go outside without being told that they can't. People who are tired. They said yesterday that they're now using drones in some cities to actually spy in people's backyards, not just on the street, but to look in people's backyards to make sure that you're keeping far enough distance, I guess, away from your own family. What do they think? You're putting your kids in a different room than you are? Is that? No. Me, I'll hang out in the living room. Let's see, 5-year-old Timmy. Yeah, you can hang out in the bathroom all day. That's what you can do. I hope he won't drown in there. I mean, there's a lot of water. Mom, you can hang out in the bedroom all day, and we'll put the dog over here because we don't want to touch him and have him going around, because that could just get everybody sick. So, I guess that's what they think we're supposed to do. We're not going to do that. I mean, I don't think any country, especially not America. How long do you think we're really going to put up with that? It's not going to last long. And it's already stopping. There are already people who are walking around, they're protesting, and they're saying, no, we want our jobs back. We want the economy started back up. Many of them have already had coronavirus. Here's a fun thing that you might not have known. They haven't done this. No, wait, they did do this in one place in the U.S., but they've done it in other countries now. They found that the amount of people infected by this corona thing is far higher than they thought it was. But the deaths aren't. The deaths are still the same, but the amount of people who were infected by it were far bigger, and a lot of people didn't even know they were infected by it. So in countries over there, I think France was one of them. In France, they just randomly tested people. They're walking down the street, and they were like, just random test, and they get them a test, and okay, fine. They found out that it was between 3 and 5 more times of people than they thought actually already had the virus, got over it, didn't even know it. Well, the good news about that is this. It means that the death rate from the coronavirus is much lower than we originally thought it was. People were saying for a while, they were saying, oh, it's 5%, older than that, it could be 7%, it may be even older when you get higher than that. Well, now that they're actually looking at how many people were infected, they're actually saying, oh, it's not that high at all. In fact, they're saying it could be somewhere between, like 0.1% and 1%, which is that's still very deadly. That's deadlier than the flu, but it's not nearly as deadly as we originally thought it was. Good. This is good. This is another reason that people are out there wanting to get their jobs back now. So I can understand all this. I'm waiting to get back out of the house. I'm trying to play it safe. I'm trying to stay in all I can. And besides, I work right here anyway. So the only thing that I'm really being stopped from doing is going out and getting out of the house for a while, which that would be very nice. But still, what I would suggest for all you guys out there right now is to keep a head on your shoulders as long as you can, and to start thinking about getting back into your normal lives, because it's going to have to happen sooner or later. And I don't know, it's looking to me like they may actually start ramping that up soon. I think Trump has already said that he's got this 3-stage plan that will bring the economy back online and start it all up again. And so I think that's started by now. But just make sure to keep yourself sane. Play video games. Read books. My favorite thing to do when something like this happens is to pick up an old hobby that I used to have. I know some of you guys don't know this about me. One thing I used to do all the time is I used to build furniture. I love building furniture. I had a house for a while that was just nothing, but I built everything. I built the bed, I built the bookshelves, all the tables, the chairs, just anything that I could build, I would build it. And I really enjoyed doing that. I enjoyed that a lot. That's something you could do. I mean, you could take up some building. You could learn how to play an instrument. I mean, you're sitting here in front of YouTube anyway, so there are loads of places you can go. You can put into YouTube, teach my face music, and there will be series and Surara on how to learn how to play music theory, and how to play a guitar, how to play a flute, how to play anything. So keep your head on your shoulders. As far as 2 Cents goes, Hoofy and I had been planning on taking a season break soon. With our the last episode we made, we'd planned, maybe 2-3 more episodes, and we'll take a season break, which we do on 2 Cents every now and then. We do it for a while. We put out 30 or so episodes, and then we take a break, and we spend a few months just chilling out and doing other things, and then we go back to it. Well, since this is a difficult time for all of us, including me and Hoof as well, what I think we're going to do is we're just going to take that break early. Now, don't worry, we're coming back. 2 Cents will happen again. Right now, with everybody being sick, with everything going on, everybody is concerned more, I think, now about how to get these bonus checks that they're trying to get from and the banks don't know how to do it, and the crazy stuff's going on all with this. And I think people are worried more about that right now and their own finances and things like that than they're worried about actually watching the 2 Cent Show for now. I mean, it's really, there are times where it's good to be funny, where it's good to look at the news and laugh. Really hard to do lately. Very hard to do lately. And so I know that you I myself as well, we've got some other things right now that we have to concentrate on. And I hope that we'll all be able to do that. We'll all be able to focus and make sure that our lives actually get off to a good start, back to a good start, and that we can all get over this. So, this isn't quite a 2-cent show, but like I said, short little thing to talk with you guys about what's going on now. There's no chance that, there's no if we get over this. We will. We will. Everybody will get over this. What my main concern right now is making sure that the lives of the people who aren't involved with this and who aren't going to get sick, their lives aren't ruined as well. That includes mine and yours and whoever's. I hope that damage remains as low as possible. As far as the virus goes, obviously I hope that damage is as low as possible. Luckily, in a lot of places, such as New York, that place, I swear, that's sitting there and begging everybody else, begging the federal government for, we need ventilators, we need them, we're gonna die, and then they get ventilators. The federal government sends them ventilators, and then they didn't even use them. They built them like some 2,000 extra hospital beds. Didn't use them either. The whole time they're like, we're gonna need it. They didn't need it. So it's not as bad, I think, as a lot of people think it is. We will know soon how bad it actually is, and I'm going to be paying attention to those numbers because I'm personally very curious. And until that time, just hunker down, stay going. I will still be making gaming videos on my gaming channel, so I'll be here for that. And when things start getting a little bit better, the 2-cent show will reappear again, and I'm also going to start doing more rants, more things. You guys saw some of that before, but then this all happened, and everything just went crazy. So I hope you don't blame me too much. I mean, I know everybody's going nuts right now. I didn't expect I'd be in on that, but I kind of am. And I apologize, but I'm still here. I'm going to be here. And 2 Cents will be back in a little while. The gaming videos will continue on. And I'm going to be here for, well, hopefully for a long time. Hopefully I don't get this virus and then go bleh and die. I'm hoping for not that. I don't want that. It's like, I could live or I could die. Let me see. I gotta think about this one for a second. I'm gonna die. Die. Yeah, live. I'm gonna live. It took me a minute, but yeah, I got it. So, yeah, we're gonna pull through this. It's gonna be great. And I'll be here on the other end, guys. Little update for you, and I will see you guys again quite soon. Don't worry. Take care. Be safe. Stay healthy.